Yes, Senator Boni.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I couldn't agree more with your ruling, but I'm struck by the letter from the Ministry of Interior, and I would like to persuade the Senate that the reason why the Minister for Interior is not in a position, it is because in this House, the House found that the former Deputy President was impeachable and he was removed. And the statement from the Chair, Mr. Speaker, sir, was that by dint of that motion, that moment, then Deputy President ceased being a Deputy President. This Parliament subsequently, Mr. Speaker, sir, appointed Professor Kindiki as the Deputy President of Kenya. So at the level of Parliament, the Deputy President of Kenya is Professor Kindiki. I want to appeal to the Secretariat that stop being superfluous by sending him invitation letters to come and respond on issues of interior. If you have got anything to ask him to come and speak on matters concerning the office of the Deputy President, Mr. Speaker, sir. Thank you very much.
I would like to defend the Secretariat because the letters of invitation to the CS were done prior to his appointment and also approval by the National Assembly. But I believe you have a point with regards to what the National Assembly and this House did in the course of last week. Yes, Senator Wambua.
You know, I have listened to Senator Alwale as a speaker. Let me just educate him a bit. Words have meaning. Where I sit, there is nobody who has been appointed in the position of Deputy President. There has only been a nomination pending. Chariot, I live in this world. I am in the same Senate with you. I will insist that words have meaning. Maybe where you come from in Kericho, appointment and nomination mean the same thing. In the English dictionary, they mean completely different things, but you can benefit from this if you will. Mr. Speaker, the matter that Senator Alwale is raising, we all know that it is a matter that is being canvassed elsewhere. We can go into that debate if that will be necessary. I don't think it will be. The most important thing, the Speaker, would have been for us then to ask ourselves, because over a period of time now, we have had questions listed for responses. In fact, if you remember, if my memory serves me right, last Wednesday, we had to adjourn the sittings because CSs that were expected did not turn up. Today, the previous Wednesday, today the same thing as happened to the Speaker. Maybe there will be need for proper communication, engagement between the office of the Speaker and maybe the office of the Majority Leader with the Cabinet Office. So, Mr. Speaker, the appearance by Cabinet Secretaries before this House to respond to questions is prioritized. So we don't have a situation where the Speaker, when senators have come here with questions, then we say we are not going to process that business because the CSCs have not appeared. The Speaker, I will continue with the English lessons for both Senator Alwale and Senator Cheruiyot after this session. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members, I'm seeing a lot of interest in having this conversation further. I will allow a few more members. Senator Mundigi.
Asante Bwana Spika, nafurahia sana kwa sababu tunajua tuko na Deputy President ambaye anaitwa Abraham Kithure Kindiki. na nataka nifahamishe seneta wa Kitui, rafiki wangu ambaye anatarajia kuwa gavana wa mwaka wa 2027. Mpaka watu wa Kenya wajue ni ukweli, yeye ndiye mteule na angeweza kuja hapa kuongea kama ni waziri wa ulinzi. Kwa hivyo nataka niseme katika Kenya tuko na furaha.
Senator Kindiki.
Bwana Speaker, ni vizuri kusherekea kwa sababu tuko na deputy mpya president ambaye anaitwa Ibrahim Kindiki Kithure. Kwa hivyo nataka kusema wale wanajiita Mount Kenya West mpaka Mkumbari, tuko kwa serikali ya muungano. Hatuko serikali ambaye ni ya chama hii ama ni ya hii. Tuko serikali ambaye ya muungano ambaye ni ya Kenya mzima. Tukiwa kaunti 47 mpaka Tukumbari ambaye yametokea. Sasa ile kitu tunasema ni mtuunge mkono ndio kutoka wakati yoyote tuweze kuhudhuria akiwa ameapishwa. Hiyo ndio tunangoja, hakuna kitu kingine. Kwa hiyo Bwana Speaker, mimi naunga mkono tuweze kukaribisha, tuweze siku ile tutamkaribisha. Asante Bwana Speaker.
Senator, well, proceed Senator Sifuna.
Honorable Speaker, I just rose on Standing Order 103 to direct the House that it is a matter of public knowledge and notoriety that in fact the subject that is being brought to the floor of this House is a subject of court proceedings that are happening in front of the whole country. It will be highly prejudicial, Honorable Speaker, for us to engage in that debate at this particular moment in time. I think for the respect of the constitutional institutions that we have, because you will remember, Honorable Speaker, last week when this House was charged with that matter, the courts refused to intervene. I think we owe it to the other constitutional institutions to also give them the respect they deserve under the rules of sub judice, not to discuss those matters when they are live before them. Having said that, Honorable Speaker, I have always laid this complaint on the table of Parliament. There is something called continuity of government. If you look at the matters that are in the order paper, those questions were not even filed last week. Some of those questions are as old as 6 months, a year. And it is very unfortunate that it takes that long for us to engage with cabinet secretaries, because one of the things that we have tried to do in this House is to stay current. There are many, many matters that are live right now, including matters in the energy docket. And I was expecting to see the cabinet secretary for energy here. At least in the Ministry of Interior, you can say maybe there was confusion as to who should appear this morning. But Honorable Speaker, the excuse that has come from the Cabinet Secretary for Energy is an excuse that I will never accept before this House, because we have said that constitutionally you must prioritize appearance before this House. We as representatives of the people have a lot of questions to put across to the CS for Energy. Honorable Speaker, we have not had opportunity to have conversations about some of the things that are going on in the country, including the energy contracts that we hear are being signed in respect to that Adani company that has become now notorious. So these CSS, Honorable Speaker, we must every single time remind them that this House requires them to be here to answer questions relating to questions that are being raised by our constituents. And we need to stay live, we need to stay relevant, and you cannot come in 2026 to answer questions about Adani, and we are hearing that deals have already been concluded. So, Honorable Speaker, once again, I want to register my disappointment that cabinet secretaries are not taking these appearances seriously, and yet we have live matters for which our constituents demand that we ask questions. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you.